We often neglect the one person who is with us every step of the way, ourselves. It's easy to fall into the rhythm of solving problems for others and being a pillar of strength. Yet, when the curtains close and we're left in the quiet of our own company, the silence can be overwhelming. Stoicism reminds us that we are the masters of our own inner fortress, and the care we afford ourselves should be as rigorous and disciplined as a soldier preparing for battle. This isn't about indulgence, it's about survival. It's about ensuring that our energy, peace, and well-being are protected with the vigilance of a seasoned general who knows that the strength of an empire depends upon the resilience of its leader. As we delve into today's discussion on making ourselves a priority, remember, if this resonates with you, a simple free favor you could do is hit the subscribe button. Don't skip any part of the video. Every piece of wisdom here builds on the last, creating a blueprint for not just surviving, but thriving on your own terms. Join me on this journey and let's explore these historical teachings together. Let's embrace Stoicism, not just as a philosophy, but as a daily practice to secure our personal well-being. Think about how many promises you've made to yourself and broken. How often have you planned to exercise, go to bed earlier, or eat healthier, only to let something else take priority? Now consider, if a friend behaved this way toward you, would you still trust them? Often we are the first to break promises to ourselves because we believe there are no consequences. Yet the real consequence is a profound lack of self-respect. If you want to inspire respect and take control of your life, you must start with respecting yourself. Whether you aim for better health, more wealth, inner peace, or greater discipline, maintaining your commitments is essential. Temporary changes won't suffice. Marcus Aurelius, despite ruling an empire and facing constant wars and betrayals, diligently recorded his reflections and flaws daily. He never outsourced his personal growth or discipline. This dedication to self-improvement begs the question: do you treat yourself as a priority, or are you neglecting your personal evolution, treating it as something that can be indefinitely postponed? The first commitment must be to yourself, not your boss, not your friends, and not your family. If you promise to rise early, then rise. If you commit to a project, see it through. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you reinforce a self-image of unworthiness and unreliability. But when you honor your commitments, you will notice a significant boost in self-esteem. You'll feel more in control, realizing you don't need external motivation. Your commitment is enough. This is the essence of discipline, acting not out of immediate desire, but from a deep-seated decision to respect yourself. The world will indeed test this commitment. There will always be distractions, easier paths, excuses. But in these moments you must decide, will you default to excuses, or will you fulfill your commitments? Remember, Stoicism teaches that we control only our actions, our responses. You might not control the circumstances around you, but you can always control how you react. The moment to act, the opportunity to uphold your commitments is now. Not tomorrow, not when conditions are perfect, because such a moment doesn't exist. So, what have you been postponing? What promise to yourself have you left unfulfilled? Whether it's something as simple as reading a transformative book, or as significant as starting a new project or breaking a bad habit, start now. Each day you delay is a day not lived to its fullest. Remember, the strength of a person is not determined by their talent, intelligence, or luck, but by their commitment to themselves. Today, make a pact to never again disrespect your own word, to never treat your commitments lightly, and to never see yourself as unimportant. Life does not send rescues. No one will come to take you by the hand and lead you to your desired destination. Stoicism clearly teaches that you are solely responsible for the direction of your own existence. Waiting for someone to guide you for the perfect moment or for an external solution is simply a waste of time. Marcus Aurelius emphasized that the only things within your power, your actions and decisions, are what truly matter. He cautioned against fretting over the injustice of others, luck, or the past, all of which are beyond your control. Many people live as if they are mere passengers in their own lives, passively waiting for fate to be kind or for someone else to solve their problems. This passive approach is a trap. Each day spent waiting is a day not truly lived. Life rewards action, not hesitation. While some may freeze in the face of uncertainty, others move forward despite not having all the answers. The latter group reaches further, proving that true strength lies in decisiveness, not in complete certainty. To lead your own life effectively, you must stop outsourcing your decisions to others and relying on their opinion. Abandon the naive notion that someone else will resolve your challenges. The world does not cater to our grievances or change just because we feel wronged. Reality marches on regardless of our involvement. Consider a ship adrift at sea, aimlessly pushed by the waves, an apt metaphor for someone who does not take charge of their life. Now contrast this with a seasoned navigator who, despite not controlling the storm, skillfully steers their ship, adjusting sails and tackling the waves head-on. This is the essence of leading your own life. Assuming this responsibility might seem burdensome, but in truth, it is liberating. Understanding that no one else can make your decisions or fight your battles frees you from the need to please others and from the fear of making mistakes. Stoicism teaches us to be emotionally self-sufficient, making choices based on personal integrity rather than the need for external approval. What distinguishes a fulfilling life from an empty one is the ability to make conscious choices, deciding what to tolerate, what thoughts to nurture, and what boundaries to set. If you do not actively make these choices, others will make them for you, often leading to a life that feels out of control and unfulfilling. Leading your life requires a daily commitment to this mindset, continually reminding yourself that you hold the ultimate responsibility for your path. While you may seek advice and learn from others, ultimately, the decisions are yours to make. If you don't take ownership of your life, be assured someone else will. Time waits for no one. Every morning, a new day dawns, ripe with choices and paths to be taken. Yet, many fail to realize that if they don't define their priorities, the world will. Living reactively, people often find themselves swayed by external demands and distractions, pulled in directions they never consciously chose, becoming mere pawns on another's chessboard. The reality is stark. Many believe they control their destiny, yet their days are cluttered with unchosen obligations and urgent but unimportant tasks. This scenario unfolds not by chance, but by failing to set personal priorities. Whether it's a demanding job, societal expectations, or mere procrastination, these forces conspire to waste our time on trivialities. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic luminary, understood that life's brevity meant each moment had to be used wisely. He knew that focus determines reality. Without direction, we drift aimlessly, like a leaf in the wind. His discipline in choosing priorities was not just about productivity, but a matter of honor, preserving the precious commodity of time. Historically, the great achievers weren't those who busied themselves with everything, but those who focused on what truly mattered. They eliminated the irrelevant, zeroing in on their true objectives. Today, however, many live on autopilot, inundated by a deluge of notifications and distractions, making it a near Herculean task to maintain focus. The danger is in the realization coming too late. Years pass, filled with regret for not taking control sooner, for spending more time solving others' problems than pursuing personal dreams. Stoicism teaches us to live each day as if it were our last, valuing the present and ensuring our actions are meaningful. Setting priorities is challenging. It requires effort to swim against the current of conformity, to make decisions that carve a distinct path rather than follow the crowd. True clarity about what matters simplifies choices. It leads to rejecting unnecessary engagements and focusing on actions that build toward real goals. Discovering what deserves priority starts with honest reflection, considering what changes would genuinely enhance your life. It means being ruthless in cutting out the superfluous and focusing on what's truly essential. By consciously setting your priorities, you're choosing to say no to distractions and yes to your life. Each day is a blank slate. If you don't decide how to fill it, others will. The Stoics knew that wisdom lies in controlling what we can, our time and our actions. They implored us to choose intentionally before circumstances choose for us. Every day, many people find themselves merely reacting to their surroundings, buffeted by the whims of external forces. Whether it's a rude remark that stirs anger, a traffic jam that breeds impatience, or bad news that saps spirits, reactions often seem automatic and out of control. But living this way means never truly holding the reins of your own life. The Stoics, including Marcus Aurelius, understood this deeply. They believed that to live a fulfilling life one must not avoid challenges, since difficulties are inevitable, but should learn not to be governed by knee-jerk reactions. Marcus Aurelius, ruling over a vast empire, could not afford the luxury of reactive leadership. His strength came from a deliberate approach to action, a profound understanding that he must choose responses based on wisdom, not whim. The contrast between those who lead their lives and those who merely react is stark. Reactors are constantly at the mercy of external conditions, scrambling to address issues after they arise, often feeling victimized by their circumstances. However, true leaders shape their own paths. They anticipate challenges and set a proactive course for their lives. If you've ever felt upset by unexpected events or minor irritations, it's likely because reactive living grants these externalities power over your inner peace. Remember, the world is inherently imperfect, filled with challenges and provocations. The key is to change not the world around you, but how you respond to it. Consider a storm. Many panic, driven by fear into futile actions, while the steady, those who lead, assess the situation and make calculated decisions. They face the storm not with fear, but with strategy and resolve. Leading your life means crafting a plan, setting your direction based on enduring values rather than fleeting emotions. Those on autopilot, who react without thought, are often manipulated by the agendas of others, through media, societal pressure, or even social net. Choosing to lead rather than react means declaring that your life will not be dictated by external forces. It involves strategic decision-making, a refusal to let frustrations dictate your reactions. History's great leaders and thinkers weren't impulsive. They maintained their composure and clarity even amidst chaos. Now, ask yourself, are you living by your principles, or are you reacting to the world around you? Are you making conscious choices, or are you merely trying to keep up with life's demands? True change starts when you realize that not every provocation requires a response, and not every challenge must deplete your energy. If you find yourself constantly putting out fires, consider whether you're letting external factors steer your life's direction. Stoicism teaches us that we control only our actions and responses, nothing more. This means you have the power to choose calm over agitation, solutions over despair, and progress over stagnation. Time is relentless. It doesn't pause or look back. While it passes, those who lead with intention carve out meaningful existences, moving steadily toward their goals. In contrast, those who react drift along, often looking back with regret at time misspent. Not all battles in life are fought against external forces. Often, they are within the circles we choose, among people we share our days with. Unfortunately, not everyone in our lives serves to strengthen, support, or inspire us. Some may subtly drain our energy, diminish our motivation, and undermine our confidence, pulling us back rather than propelling us forward. Stoicism teaches us to protect our minds from factors beyond our control, including the negative influences of those around us. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, cautioned about the company we keep, noting that the wrong associates can corrupt even the strongest spirits. Reflect on this. If someone consistently devalues your achievements, ridicules your dreams, or undermines your self-esteem, why allow them space in your life? The time spent with such individuals is time stolen from your personal development, a high price to pay for relationships that offer nothing positive. Often, the fear of loneliness drives people to cling to toxic relationships or unfulfilling friendships. However, consider what is worse: being alone temporarily while you strengthen your resolve, or continuously being surrounded by those who sap your energy and stunt your growth. Loneliness, when embraced, can be a powerful phase of empowerment, while the wrong company can act as a silent prison, trapping you in mediocrity. Remember, protecting your energy is not an act of selfishness, it's a necessary form of self-preservation. You cannot support everyone, and you should not have to convince anyone of your worth. Your personal growth does not require anyone's approval. True supporters will encourage your development without conditions. Marcus Aurelius, faced with envy and manipulation, never allowed external criticisms to sway him from his path. He remained focused on what was truly important: his values, his duties, and his personal growth. Like him, you must assess the influence of those around you. Do they help you grow, or do they hold you back? Are they sources of inspiration or sources of doubt? If the influence is negative, consider distancing yourself. This doesn't mean you must end relationships abruptly or create conflict. Instead, realign your priorities quietly. Spend your time with those who enrich your life and engage in activities that contribute to your growth. Be vigilant about protecting your energy as diligently as you guard your time and your thoughts. If someone consistently undermines your confidence or questions your efforts, it's time to evaluate their role in your life. True progress requires letting go of burdens that aren't yours to carry. Choose the company you keep with care. They have a significant impact on your life's trajectory. The most decisive battles are not waged on a physical battlefield, but within the confines of your own mind. Your thoughts directly influence how you feel, act, and perceive your potential. A mind plagued by insecurity, doubt, and self-sabotage predestines you for defeat before you even engage with the world. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, taught that we are not disturbed by events themselves, but by the views we adopt about them. It's not the obstacles that define us, it's how we interpret them. Consider the process of a blacksmith forging a blade. The metal isn't born sharp, it is heated, hammered, and honed with precision. Similarly, your mind requires regular conditioning to remain sharp. Neglected, it can become as ineffective as a rusty blade, unfit for the battles of life. Those who train their bodies yet neglect their minds might appear strong, but they often falter under pressure due to internal fragility, manifesting as fear of failure, paralysis under stress, or chronic self-doubt. Your reality is sculpted by the thoughts you nurture. A mindset steeped in defeatism leads to a life lived in the shadows of failure. Conversely, a mind trained for resilience, strategy, and optimism can withstand the greatest of life's challenges. The good news is that the power to reshape your mind is entirely in your hands. Thoughts, like muscles, strengthen with consistent exercise. Focus on fostering mental patterns that empower and support your aspirations. A well-trained mind can manage doubt and fear without being overwhelmed by them. It possesses the clarity to use every experience as a stepping stone toward growth. The Stoics believed that while the world could strip you of material possessions and external stability, your thoughts remain inviolably yours. Therefore, the real question is whether you are actively fortifying your mental fortitude or allowing it to degrade in an autopilot existence. Many accept limiting beliefs without scrutiny. I'm not good enough, I always fail, or this won't work for me. These negative scripts often stem not from factual assessments, but from past hurts and the projected opinions of others. A robust mind challenges these narratives, evaluating and rejecting them if they don't align with reality. Consider what your mind has been absorbing. Are your thoughts reinforcing your strengths, or are they eroding your confidence? Remember, the true battlefield lies within, and victory is determined not by external circumstances, but by internal resilience. Take charge of your cognitive processes. Don't let your mind become your adversary. Instead, cultivate it as your ally, one that propels you toward your goals with precision and positivity. The outcomes you experience in life are reflections of the thoughts you choose to entertain and believe. Solitude is often misunderstood. Far from being a sign of weakness, it is a profound source of strength. In our noise-filled world, we are taught to view being alone as a problem, a symbol of failure or abandonment. Yet history's greatest minds, from Stoic philosophers to visionary leaders, have recognized solitude as a vital opportunity for growth and self-discovery. The Stoics, in particular, valued solitude not as a curse, but as a precious gift. Marcus Aurelius, surrounded by the demands of his empire, cherished his moments alone for reflection. Epictetus, from his humble beginnings as a slave to becoming a revered philosopher, emphasized the importance of finding peace within oneself rather than seeking it through others. Seneca, through his letters, spoke of how true loneliness isn't about the absence of others, but the inability to be comfortable in one's own company. When you learn to be alone without feeling lonely, you unlock a transformative power. Solitude becomes not just a momentary retreat, but a space to engage deeply with your own thoughts, to reflect on your actions, and to plan your future. It is here in the quiet that you can truly listen to your own voice and forge a formidable inner strength that external circumstances cannot shake. Many avoid solitude, fearing the discomfort it may bring, filling their lives with endless distractions, social media, entertainment, and superficial interactions to escape facing themselves. But avoidance keeps you weak. It leaves you unprepared for life's inevitable challenges. Being alone should not be equated with being lost. On the contrary, it offers a unique chance to find yourself, to understand your desires, and to cultivate resilience. Consider this: the most intense growth often occurs not in the presence of others, but in the solitude of one's mind. Like warriors who train away from the battlefield, individuals who embrace solitude use it to sharpen their minds and fortify their spirits. They emerge not only ready to face the world, but also to shape it according to their vision. The challenge, then, is not to avoid solitude, but to embrace it, to see it as a vital phase of self-development where you can establish a foundation of self-sufficiency. This doesn't mean cutting off relationships or eschewing social interactions, but rather ensuring that your relationship with yourself is the core from which strength radiates. In the silence of being alone, ask yourself, are you comfortable with who you are? Are you ready to use this time not as a punishment, but as a profound period of personal growth? Those who master solitude master themselves and become truly unshakable, no matter what life throws their way. Respect is not something you can buy, demand, or plead for. It must be earned. But crucially, it can only be genuinely received from those who respect themselves. Expecting respect from someone who lives in neglect of their own worth is an exercise in futility. The Stoics taught us to focus on what we can control and to disregard the rest. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, emphasized acting with justice, integrity, and wisdom, irrespective of how others treat us, highlighting that those who do not respect themselves are often unable to genuinely respect others. Reflect on the times you felt disappointment from not receiving the acknowledgement you deserve. Consider the energy and time spent seeking approval from those who do not even value themselves. Such efforts are doomed from the start. Respect mirrors the appreciation visible within one's self. It cannot be forced from those who have none for themselves. Many try to win over individuals who undervalue everything. They fail to understand, however, that you may appear as a threat rather than a figure deserving respect to someone entrenched in mediocrity and self-pity. Those lacking principles might feel threatened by your discipline and integrity, responding not with respect, but with minimization or ridicule. The Stoic way teaches us to pick our battles wisely. It is ineffective and exhausting to seek respect from those incapable of giving it. Your role is not to educate everyone on the virtues of principled living, but to embody those virtues yourself without seeking external validation. When you cease to seek respect from those who cannot offer it, you empower yourself. You realize that the only respect that truly matters is the respect you hold for yourself. This internal respect fosters true strength and independence. The Stoics lived this truth. They did not court external approval but found satisfaction in living righteously according to their own moral standards. This realization liberates you. No longer will you expend energy trying to change perceptions that are immovable. Instead, you will live freely, guided by your values and principles, not swayed by the need for external affirmation. True respect starts from within and radiates outward. When you respect yourself and live unapologetically according to your principles, you become truly unshakable. Ask yourself, are you living for the recognition of others, or are you living a life true to your values? Remember, the respect that counts the most is the respect you earn from yourself. Do not waste time on those who have not learned to see their own value. Continue to be steadfast, integral, and forward-moving. True confidence doesn't happen by accident, nor does it suddenly manifest when you need it most. It is meticulously crafted during unseen moments through silent preparation, unnoticed decisions, and seemingly insignificant daily habits that ultimately shape who you are. Many mistakenly believe that confidence springs forth from external recognition, opportunities, or overcoming challenges. However, real confidence stems from actions taken when no one is watching. A warrior's strength isn't proven on the battlefield alone, nor does a speaker's eloquence emerge solely before an audience. Just as a wise person's wisdom isn't confined to moments of decision, all these traits are the results of what has been diligently built in private. The Stoics, including Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, emphasize that strength is cultivated through routine and discipline, not spontaneous acts of heroism. They knew that the foundation of a resilient life is laid away from the public eye. If you aspire to be formidable when the world challenges you, your discipline must be consistent during moments of solitude. The way you perform when everyone is watching is a direct reflection of what you've practiced in privacy. If your daily life is riddled with procrastination and half-hearted commitments, you'll find yourself unprepared for critical moments. Conversely, if you establish robust habits, train your mind for resilience, and maintain unwavering discipline, you'll be equipped to handle any adversity. Self-confidence doesn't arise from superficial praise or accolades. It is born from the deep-seated knowledge that you are well prepared. It is knowing that you've addressed and conquered your weaknesses long before they ever have a chance to be exposed publicly. Your self-assurance is built on the countless times you've chosen to act with integrity rather than take the easy way out, reinforcing to yourself that you are capable and ready. The challenge many face is desiring the fruits of confidence without investing in the roots of preparation. They wish to feel powerful without engaging in the hard work that true strength requires. Life, however, doesn't reward the unprepared. The Stoics were clear. Consistent preparation is the key to enduring any of life's trials. By practicing self-discipline daily and pushing your limits in private, you ensure you are ready for whatever comes your way. Ask yourself, what are you doing when no one's looking? How are you shaping your mind, your character, your resilience? Are you actively preparing or merely hoping that confidence will find you unbidden? Remember, the most critical work happens offstage. In the quiet moments of preparation, you forge the steel of your spirit, ready to shine when the spotlight finds you. True confidence is not about boasting or believing blindly that things will work out. It's about knowing with quiet certainty that you are prepared for anything life throws at you. It's the peace that comes from having done the work, even when no one else was watching. Motivation is transient, often seen as essential for success but truly unreliable when it matters most. It provides an initial spark, yet fades quickly, leaving you stranded on challenging days. This is why relying solely on motivation can be detrimental to achieving long-term goals. The Stoics, understanding the deceptive nature of motivation, relied instead on discipline, commitment, and the cultivation of steadfast habits. Epictetus emphasized the daily practice of virtues, not just when convenient. Marcus Aurelius, even in his role as emperor, acted not out of motivation but from a sense of duty, knowing well that waiting for motivation is a trap. Success isn't a result of fleeting emotions, but the product of habits practiced consistently, regardless of one's emotional state. Consider a warrior preparing for battle, who doesn't train only when motivated. They train relentlessly to ensure readiness, regardless of their mood. Life demands the same discipline, regular action, irrespective of desire. Building something substantial, be it a personal goal or a professional project, requires consistency that outlasts momentary motivation. Habit formation is crucial, as it underpins any significant achievement. Actions should stem from a commitment to these habits, not the whims of feeling inspired. Many fail because they are conditioned to act only when they feel right, a notion that undermines the very essence of discipline. The Stoic philosophy teaches that self-control and habitual action are paramount and far superior to being driven by fleeting emotions. Motivation may waver like a flickering flame, but a well-established habit burns steadily, providing continuous momentum. Reflect on whether your actions are motivated by fleeting emotions or grounded in robust habits. The path to success is paved with consistent, disciplined actions that become second nature, reinforcing your progress regardless of external conditions. Did you know that the majority of walk through life feeling like we're not in control of our destiny? It's a common experience, feeling like you're being pushed along by circumstances, by other people's expectations, or even by your own fears and doubts. But here's a powerful thought from Stoic philosophy that might just change the way you see everything. You have power over your mind, not outside solemnity. Realize this and you will find strength. It's Marcus Aurelius reminding us that true power comes from within. Today, we're diving deep into the 6 rules to win in life, inspired by the resilience and wisdom of Stoic philosophy. These aren't just tips, they are transformational ways of thinking that can lead you to a life of real achievement and emotional strength. If you find value in what we're discussing here, do me a simple, free favor. Hit that subscribe button. It helps more than you might think. And stick with me, because each rule we're going to explore could be the key to unlocking a new chapter in your life. Whether you're looking for a complete turnaround or just a few tweaks to better align with your core values, today's episode is laid for you. Let's explore these ancient truths that continue to resonate so powerfully in our modern lives. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a new beginning. You look back and see your past mistakes made, opportunities missed, and the echo of what could have been ringing loud. But here's the thing. That past doesn't have the power to dictate your future unless you let it. This is where believing in your power to change creates a new chapter, and it's foundational to Stoic philosophy, which teaches us that we are in control of our perceptions and reactions. The Stoics, like Epictetus, believe that our minds have the incredible power to shape our experiences and realities. He famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When you embrace this mindset, you start seeing yourself as the powerful creator of your own life, not just a passive participant. You have the ability to sculpt your future, thought by thought, action. So, how do you start believing in your power to change? It begins with understanding that your mental and emotional muscles are just like physical ones. The more you use them, the stronger they become. Every moment you choose patience over frustration, positivity over negativity, action over procrastination, you are exercising those muscles. It's about making small, consistent choices that steer your life in a direction aligned with your deepest values. Exercise faith. You are exercising passion. You are exercising faith. Believing in your power to change also means stepping out of your comfort zone. The Stoics weren't about living a life of comfort. They were about living a life of moral virtue and personal accelerance. They challenged themselves to grow from every situation, especially the challenging ones. Marcus Aurelius viewed obstacles as opportunities. To him, what stood in the way became the way. When you start viewing your challenges through this lens, every obstacle becomes a stepping stone towards personal growth and resilience. Moreover, cultivating this belief requires you to look critically at the narratives you tell yourself. Are they narratives of empowerment or self-doubt? Start rewriting those stories. If you've always told yourself, "I'm not good at public speaking," start telling yourself, "I am improving at public speaking every day." Words have power, and by changing your words, you begin to change your reality. This belief in change is not just about personal affirmations. It's deeply practical. It involves setting clear, achievable goals and breaking them down into steps that feel manageable. It's about progress, not perfection. Celebrate each small victory along the way. These build up, reinforcing your belief in your ability to change and pushing you toward longer success. Stoicism also teaches the importance of reflecting on your day. Take a moment each evening to think about what went well and what could have gone better. This practice, known as the daily Stoic reflection, helps you become more mindful of your ability to influence your actions and reactions. It encourages a mindset of continuous improvement and adaptation, which is essential for personal growth. In embracing your power to change, remember that patience is your ollie. Change doesn't happen overnight. Just like the Stoics, you must be steadfast in your efforts, resilient in your setbacks, and always willing to learn from each experience. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a step toward transforming your life. Believing in your power to change is ultimately about taking responsibility for your life. It's about making a conscious decision to not be defined by external circumstances, but by how you respond to them. It's a commitment to stop being an actor in someone else's script and start writing your own. So take that pen, face that blank page, and start crafting a story you'll be proud to live. One decision, one belief, one action at a time. Life isn't always going to hand you easy wins. Sometimes it feels like it's just piling on one challenge after another. But here's the scoop. The tough times, they're your secret weapon. It's in these moments, right in the thick of struggle, that the core of who you are is forged. Stoicism, a philosophy built on resilience and inner strength, teaches us just that. The Stoics saw every hardship as a chance to practice virtues like courage, perseverance, and adaptability. They didn't just endure struggles, they welcomed them as opportunities to grow stronger. When you start to embrace your struggles, you shift from feeling victimized by your circumstances to becoming a proactive partisan in your own life. Think about a time when something didn't go as planned. Maybe you lost a job, endured a tough breakup, or faced a health scare. Initially, it might have felt like the world was caving in, but upon reflection, you lately found that you gained something invaluable from each experience. Maybe it was a lesson in self-reliance, a clearer understanding of what you truly value, or the realization of your own resilience. Each struggle has the potential to teach us something profound. Embracing struggles also means maintaining a level head when things seem out of control. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Just like a diamond emerging brilliant and strong from pressure, our characters are shaped and perfected through the challenges we face. This perspective encourages you not only to survive tough times, but to thrive because of them. But how do you practically embrace struggle? Start by resetting your mindset. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What is this teaching me?" Every challenge comes with a lesson, and finding that lesson can transform a negative situation into a powerful catalyst for personal development. It's about shifting from a mindset of scarcity and fear to one of growth and opportunity. Additionally, embracing struggles involves staying present during tough times. It's easy to dwell on past misfortunes or worry about future difficulties. But Stoicism teaches the value of living in the present moment. This doesn't mean ignoring the past or future, but it does mean focusing on what you can control right here and right now. Often that means taking actionable steps to mitigate a problem, leaning into supportive relationships, or even just maintaining your mental composure. Building resilience is another practical approach to embracing struggle. Resilience doesn't mean you won't feel the pressure. It means you're equipped to bounce back from setbacks. You can build resilience by setting small, manageable goals, maintaining a routine that includes time for self-care, and continuously learning from each experience. Over time, what once seemed like insurmountable challenges will start to feel manageable. Even welcome tests of your growing strength. Lastly, share your journey. Connecting with others about your struggles and how you're working through them can be incredibly empowering. It not only helps you process what you're going through, but also inspires others who might be facing their own battles. Remember, embracing your struggles doesn't have to be a solitary journey. In true Stoic fashion, leverage your community for support, wisdom, and a little extra strength when needed. You know that feeling when you're around people who just get you, where the conversation flows, the ideas bounce back and forth, and you leave feeling energized rather than drained? That's no accident. The company we keep doesn't just influence our mood, it shapes our entire journey through life. It's crucial then to be intentional about whom we choose to spend our time with. Because, as the Stoics would remind us, our character is molded by our environment. Stoicism teaches us that personal growth and success are not solely the product of our own thoughts and actions, but also the influence of those we surround ourselves with. Seneca wrote extensively about the importance of friendship and its impact on our moral and ethical development. He suggested that we form bonds with those who embody the qualities we aspire to have ourselves, because habits, good and bad alike, are contagious. Consider this. If you're on a path to self-improvement, whether it's pursuing a new career, developing healthier habits, or cultivating a more positive mindset, having friends who not only support these goals but are also on similar journeys themselves can make all the difference. They aren't just cheerleaders. They understand your struggles, share insights, and inspire you just by being examples of what's possible. It's also about more than just mutual interests or goals. Surrounding yourself with the right people means seeking out those who challenge you in constructive ways. A true friend doesn't just pat you on the back. They challenge you to grow, to think differently, and to push beyond your perceived limits. In the context of Stoicism, this means engaging with people who question your assumptions and help you refine your reasoning and virtues. These interactions are invaluable because they force you to defend your ideas or consider new perspectives, leading to deeper understanding and personal growth. But let's be real, this isn't about creating an echo chamber. It's about cultivating a diverse network that enriches your life. It's about finding people who bring different perspectives, skills, and experiences to the table. Diversity in your circle encourages creativity and helps you see the world through multiple lenses, which is essential for developing a well-running character. Now, how do you find these right people? Start by being the kind of person you want to attract. Exhibit the qualities that you value in others: integrity, kindness, resilience, and curiosity. Show up as someone who adds value, who listens, and who cares. Then, look for those traits in others. Attend events that line with your interests, join clubs or groups that reflect your values, and reach out to individuals who inspire you. Moreover, don't forget to prune your social circle when necessary. Stoicism doesn't just teach acceptance, it teaches discernment. It's okay to distance yourself from those who consistently drain your energy or detract from your growth. This isn't about being harsh or judgmental, it's about protecting your space and investing your time wisely. Remember, it's your right and responsibility to protect your peace and prioritize relationships that are truly reciprocal and beneficial. Let's face it, we all have those days when we're just not feeling it, whether it's hitting the gym, tackling that project, or even just getting out of bed. But here's where the real game changer comes in: staying the course even when the spark isn't there. Consistency isn't about having a constant rush of motivation, it's about commitment. It's what separates the dreamers from the doers, and it's deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. Stoicism teaches us about the importance of discipline and perseverance. For Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, life was about doing the work that needs to be done, regardless of how one feels about it. He famously wrote in his meditations about the necessity of getting out of bed, waking up with purpose, despite his personal reluctance. This practice of consistency isn't just about productivity, it's a form of ethical living. By staying committed to our goals, we line our actions with our values, creating a harmonious and meaningful life. So, how do we cultivate this kind of consistency? First, it begins with setting clear intentions. Know what you want to achieve and why it's important to you. This clarity will be your anchor on days when motivation wanes. Once your goals are set, break them down into manageable tasks. The idea is to create a routine that supports your ambitions, turning productive actions into daily habits. Over time, these habits build on each other, compounding into significant progress. It's also crucial to develop a mindset that embraces the mundane aspects of any journey. Stoicism doesn't glamorize the path to success. Instead, it allows us that much of life is about handling the ordinary with grace and commitment. Every small, consistent action is a building block for longer achievements. Whether it's writing a single page each day, practicing a musical instrument, or dedicating regular time to study, these aren't just tasks, they are stepping stones to mastery. Embracing the philosophy of amor fati, a love of fate, is another Stoic principle that can enhance your ability to stay consistent. This concept teaches us to love everything that happens, including the challenges and the seemingly repetitive or boring tasks. By learning to love the process, not just the outcomes, we find value in the persistence itself. This shift in perspective can transform our approach to daily tasks, turning them from chores into choices that define us. Of course, staying consistent is easier said than done. It requires you to keep pushing even when you see no immediate results. It's like planting a tree. You water it daily, not because you expect it to bear fruit overnight, but because you know that each drop contributes to its growth. Patience and persistence are key, and when you falter, as we all do, it's important to be kind to yourself. Reflect on what led to the lapse and how you can prevent it in the future. But don't dwell. Each day offers a new start, a fresh opportunity to reaffirm your commitment. Finally, accountability can play a significant role in maintaining consistency. Share your goals with a friend, join a group with similar interests, or keep a progress journal. These tools not only keep you accountable, but also provide support and encouragement along the way. Ever noticed how some of the best stories start with a stumble? Think about it, every hero faces their share of defeats before they save the day. It's not the setbacks that define them, but how they bounce back. That's not just a formula for good storytelling, it's a powerful lesson in life. Learning from failures isn't about glossing over them or pretending they don't sting. It's about mining them for insights and turning them into stepping stones. And this is where Stoic philosophy really shines, offering a timeless framework for turning adversity into advantage. Stoicism teaches us that every obstacle is an opportunity to practice some virtue: patience, courage, humility, resourcefulness. For Stoics like Epictetus, it was not the events themselves but our responses to them that mattered most. This perspective shifts how we view failures, from being endpoints to being part of the learning curve. Deaths are feedback, and feedback is the breakfast of champions. It tells you where the gaps are, what needs improvement, and how to refine your strategies. By embracing this mindset, you're not just recovering from a fall, you're preparing to leap. Think about the last time something didn't go according to plan in your life. Maybe a job interview went sideways, or a project you were passionate about didn't pan out. It's natural to feel a rush of disappointment, maybe even a bit of embarrassment. But once the dust settles, that's your moment to turn the spotlight on what went wrong. Dive deep. Were there warning signs you overlooked? Skills you might have underestimated the importance of? Mystics in communication, each of these elements holds a clue, a lesson that's tailor-made to help you grow. But it's not just about dissecting what went wrong, it's also about appreciating what this failure teaches about resilience and adaptability. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the impermanence of troubles and the resilience of the human spirit. He advised to meet challenges with dignity and to always be prepared to accept and adapt to our circumstances. When you learn from your failures, you're essentially training yourself to be more resilient. You're building a toolkit that equips you to handle future challenges with greater skill and confidence. Learning from failure also means learning to let go of fear. Often, it's not the failure itself that holds us back, but our fear of failing again. Here, too, Stoicism offers valuable advice. Focus on what's within your control. You can't change the past, but you can influence the future. You can decide how to react, what to learn, and what actions to take next. Instead of being paralyzed by fear, use it as fuel. Convert anxiety into action, and let your failures teach you how to be fearless. And remember, you're not in this alone. Share your experiences, the good and the bad. When you open up about your failures, you do two things. You normalize the learning process for everyone around you, and you allow others to learn from your experience as well. This not only strengthens your connections, but also builds a culture where failure is seen not as a source of shame, but as a common ground for growth. Life's like being in the driver's seat of a car on a vast, sprawling highway. You can stick to a familiar route, or you can turn off onto roads less traveled and explore new territories. The choice is yours, but remember, the journey doesn't stop unless you decide to pull over. Staying curious, hungry for knowledge, and open to change. These are the fuels that keep your engine running and your journey exciting. Embracing a mindset of constantly learning and self-improvement, which advocates for a life of constant learning and self-improvement. Stoicism isn't just about enduring life's challenges, it's about thriving through them by continuously adapting and growing. Consider the words of Seneca, who urged us to be a student always. He means staying in school forever. He means maintaining the mindset of a learner throughout your life. No matter your age, career, or stage in life, there's always something new to discover, and every experience offers a lesson to be learned. To never stop evolving means to make a conscious effort to push beyond your current boundaries. It's about setting new goals once old ones are met, and seeking challenges that stretch your abilities and force you to grow. It's also about reflecting on your personal and professional life regularly, identifying areas for improvement, and taking deliberate steps to address them. This kind of introspection and proactive change aligns closely with the Stoic practice of self-examination and discipline. Moreover, embracing change and seeking growth also involves cultivating adaptability, a trait highly regarded in Stoic teachings. Just like a tree that bends with the wind but doesn't break, being adaptable in the face of life's constant changes helps you not only to survive, but to thrive. It means not getting too attached to current successes or ways of doing things. Markets change, new technologies evolve, and by staying flexible, you remain relevant and vibrant. Part of never stopping your evolution is also about opening yourself up to new ideas and perspectives. It's easy to become comfortable with what you know and whom you know, but growth often lies in the unfamiliar. Listen to others, especially those who might see the world differently. Engage with content that challenges your existing beliefs and consider it thoughtfully. This practice not only broadens your understanding, but also deepens your capacity for empathy and connection. Stories also emphasize the role of community and personal growth. By surrounding yourself with people who are also committed to personal and professional growth, you create an environment that is conducive to continuous evolution. These relationships can provide motivation, insight, and feedback that are essential for personal development. They act like mirrors, reflecting your strengths and ideas that can catalyze your growth. Lastly, never stopping your evolution means embracing lifelong learning in its many forms. Whether through formal education, reading, travel, or engaging in new skills not only keeps your brain sharp, but also opens up new opportunities and ways of seeing the world. It helps keep life fresh and exciting. During that, you're not just passing through life, but actively engaging with it. In meaningful ways,